everyone, I am Tanisha Stansel. Welcome to the Be Strong Be You blog. And I have alopecia areata totalis, which means no hair on the scalp. So here we are. Here's my headband for the day. I am really trying to work on that. So before I get started, I would like to welcome alopecians and supporters from Mexico, Chile, and Australia. Welcome to the blog. It is amazing that every week there are more and more people from different countries, and it's just so diverse. I absolutely love it. I've had to step my Google game up for Google Translator. I've even got to the point where I'm trying to speak to people in India and Jordan and having to translate Arabic and speak back. That has been amazing. It's something new for me to learn, and as you all know, I'm an educator, so I absolutely love that. So what I would say to that is that when you are messaging me in your native language, do give me time to type my response. First, look it up and translate it to English, and then be able to respond back to you in your native language. So thank you. It is a learning experience, and I'm actually enjoying it. But in that moment, it's kind of anxiety filled and just like a lot going on, but I enjoy it. So thank you for everyone who's supporting and watching the blog. So this week, I'm not going to go into my story, but when I come back next week, I'm going to get into middle school. But this week, I'm going to kind of set up a few things. But one thing I am going to do is everyone's been calling me. And when I say everyone, my sisters and like my few close friends. So it's not like a lot of people. But I have had a few questions from some people who watch and said, how has it been going out in public since I haven't been wearing my hair really since my photo shoot? And so I'm going to talk about it from a few different perspectives. So I have been going out of my house, and I've kind of been wearing the headband every day, whether it's a sweatband to go to the gym or something, decorative such as this one. But I kind of have tunnel vision. So, last Sunday was my son's birthday, and of course I had to go out and prepare for that. And this was probably the most that I was out. So I was out with one of my friends, and she went to Sam's with me, to Walmart. We went to the grocery store around from my house, Aldi's. We went everywhere, and I kind of just have tunnel vision to just go in the store and do what I got to do. And she was there, so I found myself just staying in a conversation with her and never really looking around to see if anyone was staring at me, because I'm still like getting used to the fact that I'm walking out of my house with no hair on. So there was a moment when I did stop and look, and what I realized is most of the people who are actually paying attention to me are little ones. They are children. And so it's just probably out of curiosity. So my son had a birthday party and I went with a headband on, and it was different because for me, I don't really think about it when I'm talking to someone. And even his friends parents who had known me have only seen me in hair, and here I am holding this conversation with them, and then I kind of see this look come over their face, and then in my head a light bulb goes off, and it's like I don't have any hair, and they never ask me, but I know that in their mind they maybe want to, but they don't. Now on the flip side of that, my nieces and nephews are little, and they came up and was like, TT, why did you cut your hair off? And then I just say I didn't have any hair. I lost it all when I was little. It's the same thing with the neighborhood kids that I always post about in my blogs and their interactions with my son. They're like, are you okay, Miss Tanisha? And I'm like, I'm okay. I just don't have hair. And I tell them, I have alopecia and what it is in a child-friendly manner. So that has been different. I had to go pick up my son from school for the first time, and he stays for camp. And when you pick him up, you have to go sign them out. And I had a lot of fear because the thing is as a parent or even as a guardian. So when I speak about being a parent, I mean, I know there are people out there that take care of children and they're not necessarily their official guardian. But so when I speak of parents, I'm speaking if you are in charge of caring for children at any point, like you are their decision maker. So as a parent, you never want to embarrass your child or to be the reason that your child is treated differently. So I had to go pick up my son, and for a moment I said, I'm just gonna put hair on my head because I didn't want his friends to see me, and then maybe not on this day, but later on in the year, someone does a joke and talks about me not having hair. And you will find out my son is very sweet, very sensitive about others' feelings as well as his own. So I said, no, I'm just gonna go in a headband. Like this is the fear I have to face, is that everyone initially has to see me for the first time without hair. So I went in the school, and it's like the longest hallway ever, but that day it was the longest hall times 3, you know. So he was in the gym, and I just opened the door to the gym. There are at least 50 kids playing, and he sees me and his face lights up, and he runs over and he's like, "Mom, you wore your headband. I'm so proud of you." And he grabs my hand and we walk down the hall to go sign him out. And it was just so sweet because in that moment, while I was worried about him and me not having hair affecting him later, he was being a support to me with that small moment of encouragement to grab my hand and for us to walk down the hall and sign him out. So, I mean, I'm telling my story in chronological order, but I cannot wait until I get to my son's part in my story, because get your tissues ready. He is my #1 fan in the journey. Even when I feel like I'm not beautiful and pretty, he always is encouraging and saying something. And between me and his father, like, we are raising a wonderful young boy who is going to be a wonderful young man someday. So I can't wait for that. So moving into that, throughout my blog, I said I was going to talk about self-image and what is it like for me when I get up in the morning. So I've gotten to the point where I'm feeling comfortable just walking out my house, but I'm avoiding mirrors, and that's something I did. So when I start middle school and my hair falling out, I avoid mirrors. And that's probably contributed to me being a makeup minimalist. You know, to me, I feel like as long as I show up to my beautician to get my eyebrows done, as long as I'm drinking a lot of water to keep my skin clear, like, I don't ever have to look in the mirror, you know. And I was wearing wigs, so I can just brush and look at my wig without even really looking in the mirror. But then, of course, when the wig was on my head, I could. And so I find myself not looking in the mirror. And every morning when I wake up, I have to say to myself, like, you know, even though I'm smiling and, you know, you guys see me happy, like, internally, it's really difficult. And when I look in the mirror, I see someone who's not beautiful, because let's face it, in this day and age, there has been so much emphasis on hair and what your hair should look like and what that means. And it is a big part of people's lives. I mean, if it wasn't, I wouldn't feel different. I wouldn't be going through this where I'm trying to not let what other people have said to me define me. So I get up and I literally make myself look in my mirror, and I stand there and I look myself in my own eyes and I say, Tanisha, You have a beautiful smile. You know, I have a dimple. I have beautiful eyes, and you are beautiful with or without hair, because it's not what's on the outside, Tanisha, it's what's in your heart that draws you to people. And I have to say that to myself every day. I have to wake up and be thankful for everything that I have, even in the worst situations. Like, I woke up, I have a roof over my head. I may not have the best transportation, but I can get around and get my son where he needs to be. I have food, I have health, I am breathing, I'm not in the hospital. So I have to say those things and say, even though my hair is important to me, I have to move forward. So that is something I'm working on every day, and just keep me in your prayers about that, because it is something that hurts my self-esteem. Because you're like, man, can I just have enough to have a fade? Can I just rock one of them? You know, like, and you'll hear my stories of how I talk about hair with my friends, and see people and view people who have hair. And at one point, how I was just so jealous. If you had hair, I don't care if you wasn't the most attractive person in the world. If you had hair, I was jealous of you. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's really big. And so for me to continue walking out my door and moving forward, it is a huge step for me. But now I have to mentally grasp it and just be like, it's okay, Tanisha. So I just wanted to let you guys know about like how it's been going, and just keep me in your thoughts. I don't want to keep going on about that. So my last thing is I'm going to do a hashtag alopecia problem, and it's going to be about the wind. So when the wind is blowing, when I mean high-speed winds or gust of winds, I tend to have tunnel vision. So for example, there was this time that me and my coworkers had went to this meeting downtown, and then we were like, let's go to lunch. Well, we were in walking distance of the lunch place. And of course on that day, it was a windy day. And they were talking to me, but it was so windy, I had tunnel vision of, let's just get to this restaurant, and then I'll be able to engage with you guys. But little did I know, they were actually talking to me for the last 2 blocks. But I couldn't hear anything that they were saying, because all I was worried about is this wind might blow just a little too hard, and there goes my hair. Which brings me back to my post of alopecia problems, long hair don't care. And especially in education, when you're in charge of like outside duty for supervision, and it happens to be a windy day, you know, in my mind, I'm thinking my hair could literally fly off in front of all of these kids. And yes, they are gonna laugh because they're kids. Not because they want to be cruel, but because they're kids. And it's something we see on videos all the time of people just laughing. Or walking to my car, and there would be times that it would be so windy. We had like this area where we had to park our cars, and it would be kind of like this wind tunnel, and you had to walk through it every day. And of course it's lined with kids waiting to be picked up. And one day I looked at my coworker, and she knew that my hair wasn't my hair, and I said, I'm so scared right now. She's like, why? I was like, I think my wig is gonna fly off. And we like took a light jog to my car just to get out of the wind tunnel. So yes, the wind has always brought anxiety. And for those just joining the blog, the alopecia problems were things that weren't funny to me at the moment, because it wasn't funny. But now when I look back, you know, they are, because it's like, Tanisha, you know, it's just a good laughter moment. So next week when we come back, I'll be back into my story, getting to middle school. I have pictures of my infamous wig, the braided one, so I can't wait. And I'm really, I keep saying I can't wait to show it, but I really am going to show it to you guys this next week. And I want to go live, but across the board, just not about my blog, because I don't do live so much, but I hear a lot of people are overwhelmed with just so many people going live, that I'm going to figure out how to do that, even if that means just videotaping what I do and putting it together and then posting it. I think I want to save my lives for when I get a little bit further into my story, if we want to like actually do a question and answer session after I get through some more of it. So I just don't want to keep I've just heard a lot. And, me, I'm business savvy. I really take heed to what people say. Even people just posting about it randomly on Facebook, and I'm like, I don't want to be that person. But hey, you gotta have a plan and you gotta execute it. So comment and share. Let me know your thoughts, and email me ideas, email me questions that you would like me to talk about in regards to alopecia. And as always, there is an organization, the National Alopecia Areata Foundation. I put the link in my blog, so please go check it out. Donate if you can. And I hope to see you all next week. I will be here next week again. Sorry I'm a day late, but I love you all. Thank you so much for your support, and it is much appreciated. So be strong and be you.